that's the way it goes. I mean, futility leads to a diminished sense of respect for process, a lack of hope, which means, why try anyway? And so that produces a nihilism that says, look, end this quickly. Pete killed 2 people, and his name was Shotgun because that's what he'd shoot you with. He killed somebody when he was 16, killed somebody else when he was like 21. The theory of homicidal or social homicidal violence is that it is produced by levels of self-eradicating shame. A sense of I'm so embarrassed, I'm so ashamed that I feel as though I am being diminished beyond personhood. And when that happens, the shame that gets produced leads me to become desperate to be viable, to prove that I am worthy of living. And that is when I take another person's life.
Hi, my name is Clarke Phillips, and I'm the director of Philly Drive. Philly Drive is currently a little over 10 minutes with the sample I played from the beginning included. A little bit about how this came to be. I visited my uncle in Philadelphia, and he was just driving me around the blocks he grew up on, and it brought back memories for him, and I decided to record what was going on outside of my car window because it was interesting and because really just for memories' sake. So after I came back to North Carolina, my directing professor gave us a documentary assignment, and rather than shooting something new, I looked back through the Philadelphia footage and said, hey, I could make a documentary out of this. And so I've just been running with this idea ever since. So the entire film is shot through the perspective of a moving car window, and the themes and narration that help link the film together all come from the conversation that my uncle and I were having while we were in the car. And the topics that we touch on are sex trafficking, drug trade, drug use, the philosophy of social homicidal violence, and those are the topics and themes that hold everything together. So some things I'd like to do to better this piece are to go back to Philadelphia with a different camera, because currently everything I have right now is shot on my iPhone, and I would love to go back with a small camera, almost like a GoPro, so that the camera's not intrusive, and I still have that third person perspective, but the camera quality is just better. I've also considered not limiting myself to Philadelphia and making this a little bit of a longer piece, closer to 20 minutes, where I go to a more rural part of America, like Brunswick, Georgia, and do the same type of thing where I say, hey, go to my friends and family there and say, hey, I have a camera, you have a car, let's drive around this town. And then after we do that, I would take the best visuals and then pick through the audio that would work best with the visuals that we would get. When this piece is done, I think the main demographics would be anyone between the ages of early 20s to late 60s, because I have screened people within that age range and they seem to like the film for different reasons. And I'm also thinking of targeting middle to upper class Americans, because I feel like when people live in like a middle class, upper class scenario, they hear about the hood, they hear about the slums, but they never go there. And what they're hearing is usually from a very just biased media perspective. And I think there's something really beneficial about offering a perspective that is sincere, and it's just someone who grew up on the streets offering their truthful, unfiltered, unedited, like just opinion about what it is. And so wherever I go with this project, I will definitely keep it just sincere and transparent, because I just think that's really what the heart of this documentary is and what it will be. So thank you so much for your time.